Hello everyone, my name is Josh, by the way, and this is my final analysis, which I did on media ecology. So what is media ecology? As defined in our textbook, media ecology is the study of how media and communication processes affect human perception, feeling, emotion, and value. What does this mean in English? It basically means how does the media that we use, how is it controlled by others, and what does that do to how we perceive the world, how we feel about the world, and is technology running our lives instead of us using technology to run our own lives? It was created by Marshall McLuhan and Neil Postman. And the three questions that Neil Postman posed whenever he came in contact with technology, whether to purchase it or to use it, were what is the problem this technology is a solution to? Whose problem is it actually? And what other problems will be created from using this tech? A perfect example of this was when Neil Postman was buying a car, and a new feature that cars were coming out with at the time where it was cruise control. And the first question, what is the problem that this technology is solving? Because he had never had a problem keeping his foot on the gas. Whose problem is it actually? And the third one, what other problems will be created from using this tech? This could be maybe people not having their feet ready to push on the brake in case of an emergency. The approach to knowing with media ecology is critical because it challenges the power of who holds the power with media ecology, and it looks to equalize that power. And then a couple other terms that I'll talk about a little bit later are hot media and cool media. Hot media being the high def media that demands little involvement from viewers. This could be movies, books, radio. We're kind of being told, directly what that media is. Not really a whole lot of thought goes into those ones. And then cool media, this would be things like phone conversations, TV. When you're watching the news, you have to be thinking about what they're talking about, or even something like a meme or a cartoon strip in the Sunday paper. So how does media ecology stack up? What are the pros and the cons? The good of media ecology is heurism, that the theory has been used in research to stimulate new ways of thinking about communication, mostly in the media context. And then utility, the theory is useful and practical, especially from a personal standpoint when we analyze how media is involved in our lives. The bad would be test of time, which seems to be a contradiction with heurism, but the theory has been tested. Where it becomes the bad with test of time is because new technology is constantly coming out. Media ecologists have a hard time keeping up with that new technology coming out. So where is it now, or where has it been since 2010 when our textbook came out? This is a picture of a protester during Egypt's revolution in 2011. What had happened was the government had been controlling a lot of the media. This is something that we see in other countries like North Korea that kind of helps keep the control on the country. The government tried to take it a step further in Egypt by limiting or shutting down the internet after Egyptian um, citizens had already had access to that. And obviously, they weren't very happy with that. And so, this was kind of an example of media ecology not really being effective anymore. The government having the power of media ecology over its citizens was no longer valid because the internet had spread so far and people were able to think for themselves and kind of separate themselves from what the government was trying to dictate to them. And those new forms of technology that are constantly coming out, it makes it harder for people to maintain their power over others. So where is the room for improvement with media ecology? Like I had mentioned before, the hot media and the cool media. I think the room for improvement would be expanding that. So instead of just being two categories, that when new technology comes out, it has to be either hot or cool. There could be a middle section, and maybe this could be a scale of 1 to 5, so that every time new technology comes out, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be maybe like a 3 or a 4 because it fits in with what 3 and 4 technologies kind of do, which could be a combination of hot and cool media. And I think that as technology continues to come out and be on a broader spectrum, it's going to need different classifications for better research. So moving forward, I actually learned a lot more about media ecology. This was very interesting to me when we first learned about it in the module, but upon digging deeper and really seeing the different layers, it especially allowed me to look at myself and maybe how I use media, how I view media, and maybe how I view other things because of media. It gave me a better appreciation for personal contact. That's something that Neil Postman talked about, of when you're trying to discover another person, and you're working on being vulnerable with another person. That's really easy to do on a thin level in like social media and things like that. You can really pretend to be whoever you want, but in personal contact, it's more authentic, and I just really gained an appreciation for that. Another thing I learned is that communication and the application of these communication theories are always changing, especially with media ecology. Because of all the new technology, it has to constantly change, and there has to constantly be new analysis. And with those changes, it's just important for us to be flexible in how we implement those applications of communication into our lives, and that we're able to honestly look at ourselves and become better because of these new developments. So thanks for watching my presentation. I appreciate it, and thank you.